Hey guys, really excited to share with you tonight. I'm going to be on twitch.tv/BigNerdPubQuiz. Check it out. Yes, my first ever Twitch stream. I'm really, really excited. So yes, join me 8 p.m. tonight. Hey guys, really excited to share with you tonight. I'm going to be on twitch.tv/BigNerdPubQuiz. Check it out. Yes, my first ever Twitch stream. I'm really, really excited. So yes, join me 8 p.m. tonight. Hey guys, really excited to share with you tonight. I'm going to be on twitch.tv/BigNerdPubQuiz. Check it out. Yes, my first ever Twitch stream. I'm really, really excited. So yes, join me 8 p.m. tonight. Hey guys, really excited to share with you tonight. I'm going to be on twitch.tv/BigNerdPubQuiz. Check it out. Yes, my first ever Twitch stream. I'm really, really excited. So yes, join me 8 p.m. tonight. Hey guys, really excited to share with you tonight. I'm going to be on twitch.tv/BigNerdPubQuiz. Check it out. Yes, my first ever Twitch stream. I'm really, really excited. So yes, join me 8 p.m. tonight. Hey guys, really excited to share with you. Hey guys, really excited to share with you tonight. I'm going to be on twitch.tv/BigNerdPubQuiz. Check it out. Yes, my first ever Twitch stream. I'm really, really excited. So yes, join me 8 p.m. tonight. Hey guys, really excited to share with you tonight. I'm going to be. He's really excited to share with. Hey guys, really excited to share with you tonight.
Hello, everybody. What is going on? Welcome to the Big Nerd Pub Quiz, April the 12th, 2021. Live on YouTube, live on Facebook, and for the very first time tonight. And I'm very, very delighted to be doing my very first ever live stream on Twitch. So yes, thank you so much for joining me if you're watching me on Twitch. Like I said, this is my very first time, brand new platform, really, really excited about it. And big shout out to all my buddies who are already on that streaming channel as well, because they've been giving me some great advice about getting on. Emma O'Reilly, Amy McGee, Ryan McCann, and everyone who's started following me. So yes, you're very welcome to Big Nerd Pub Quiz. If this is your very first time playing, what is it? It's an interactive pub quiz that you can play at home. And you can take part whatever way you feel like. You can actually play along if you want. There's a QR code that you'll see flash up every so often, and I'll be showing you exactly how to play. Or you can just play mentally along as well. Like, you don't actually have to take part in the Google answer sheet. But yes, if you're looking for the Google answer sheet, there's the QR code. Get your phone out, scan that, and I'll explain the rules here. This is the Big Nerd Pub Quiz, like I said, coming live from my bedroom here in Rostrevor, County Down. So yes, I've been doing this quiz all the way since lockdown began last year. It's been 1 year later and I'm still doing these quizzes. Really, really glad to bring them to you. Anyway, this is how you play Big Nerd Pub Quiz here live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So very, very simple. All you have to do is scan that QR code with your phone to access the Google form answer sheet. Or you can just copy and open the link in the description of the YouTube video, the Facebook video, and it's in the chat video as well. It's all up there. Jovi Joe Edwards, you're the only one on Twitch so far. Thank you very much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. But do share it with your friends. Do let me know. Anyway, once you open the Google Doc answer sheet, you'll see an option to enter your team name. An email address is also required to submit the form. There's 8 rounds with 6 questions each. Only 1 correct answer per question and no trick questions. Answer the questions as I ask them. You have an option of 4 answers per question in the multiple choice. And once the quiz is over, all you have to do is press submit and you'll get your scores. But stick about for the answers, of course. I'll be posting the final standings at the end and announcing the winners. Is there any prizes? No. No prizes, but best of luck anyway. We'll see how you do get on. Like I said, very easy to like and share. Like I said, if you enjoy the quiz, by all means, get in touch with me on all the different social media channels. On Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course, Twitch and YouTube tonight. Smash and like those subscribe and share buttons wherever you are. And don't forget, like I said, Big Nerd Pub Quiz is completely free to play, but you can donate to the Patreon or the PayPal. It's, like I said, a lot of work goes into making these, and it's completely free for you guys to play wherever you are. But like I said, as little as £1 to the PayPal or the Patreon goes a long way. Massive thank you to all the donators and the sponsors from the last 12 months. And you can hire the Big Nerd Pub Quiz for private events. It's the perfect activity for social distancing. It's fully customizable with questions and graphics. It's very affordable and easy to set up. So for more information on that, get in touch with me, bignerdpubquiz@gmail.com. And if you're into loads of other nerdy stuff, there's tons of other quizzes on my YouTube channel. Check them out, youtube.com/bignerdpubquiz. Everything from Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, football, music, movies, horror, Star Trek. It's all there. Check it out. BigNerdPubQuiz.com or BigNerdPubQuiz on YouTube.com. But yes, thank you very much for joining me this evening. Let's get kicked off. Time now is coming up to 4 minutes past 8 in the evening here where I am in the UK/Ireland. Anyway, let's get kicked off with tonight's quiz. First round, as we always do, is a general knowledge round. Get you nice and psyched up and get your toe wet into this. It's all about general knowledge. So let's see your knowledge on general knowledge. Well, it's basically current affairs stuff. So that's how I put these questions together. Hope you're on enjoying this one. So here we go. Here's your first question for this evening. Round 1, question 1. Good luck out there, guys. So the BAFTA Awards were held last night. The BAFTA Film Awards were held last night. So round one, question one. Who won the Best Actor award at that ceremony? So that's round one, question one. So round one, question one. I've just changed something there on the old Twitch thing to emotes only. So emojis only chat, because I don't want people giving away the answers. But who won the Best Actor award at last night's BAFTAs? That's your first question tonight. Next up, round one, question two. What was the name of the recently discovered ancient Egyptian city that was announced by archaeologists this month? That's round one, question two. Don't forget, if you are stuck, you can always just have a guess. There's 1 out of 4 there. Have a stab. That's round one, question two. What's the name of the recently discovered ancient Egyptian city that was announced by archaeologists this month? That's round one, question number two. Never ceases to amaze me what they can still discover out there in the deserts. Round one, question three, an ongoing story. The volcano La Soufrière erupted this month, causing the evacuation of which Caribbean island? That's round one, question three. Tip going forward: if you're ever stuck, if you ever want to get ahead on this, read the news. So I do these quiz questions every week, based on what's happened during the week. So round one, question three. The volcano La Soufrière erupted this month, causing the evacuation of which Caribbean island? Next up, round one, question four. Irish jockey Rachel Blackmore was the first woman to win the Grand National at Aintree this weekend. What was the name of the horse that she won it on? This is round one, question number four. First ever female jockey to win the Grand National. Big deal. Very, very big deal. So that's round one, question four. Round one, question four. Irish jockey Rachel Blackmore was the first woman to win the Grand National at Aintree. What was the name of her horse? Next up, round one, question five. Recent passing there of famous rapper DMX. But what was the title of the late DMX's debut album, which was released in 1998? So your next question there. So round one, question five. The title of the late DMX's debut album, which was released in 1998. And finally, round one, question six. What's the name of the first man to travel into space? Its 60th anniversary is being celebrated today. So yes, April the 12th, 1961 is when the first man was launched into space. What was his name? Coincidentally, just 20 years later, the space shuttle was launched. So they both share the same anniversary. But yes, the very first space shuttle, Columbia, launched on the very same day in 1991. And if you play these quizzes, if you've played them before, you know I'm a massive space geek. I put these in all the time. Anyway, there's your roundup there of questions from the first round. So yes, who won the Best Actor award at last night's BAFTAs? That's round one, question one. Round one, question two. What was the name of the recently discovered ancient Egyptian city that was announced by archaeologists this month? Next up, the volcano La Soufrière erupted this month, causing the evacuation of which Caribbean island? 4, I'm looking for the name of the horse that won the Grand National this weekend, ridden by Rachel Blackmore. 5, what was the late DMX's debut album, which was released in 1998? And finally, what was the name of the first man to travel into space, whose 60th anniversary is being celebrated today? That's your first round done. Give you a couple of seconds on that before we move on to the next one. Oh, hello. Welcome back. So that's one down, 7 more to go here this evening here on the Big Nerd Pub Quiz. Hope you're all keeping well. Like I said, this might be the very last quiz I'm doing from my bedroom because I'm going to be moving to my new office/studio next week. So yes, hopefully it'll be a kind of a brand new setup there. Maybe the sound will be a bit duller. I don't know how it's going to work. But anyway, you're very, very welcome. If you want to shout out at any point, do give me a message on any of my social media channels. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter if you want to get involved. And like I said, follow all the links there for all the different bits and bobs. Anyway, hope you're all well. Let's move on to our first specialist round. Like I said, there's a bit of a pattern to these quizzes. I do them every week. I always do a music round. And here is round 2. Our next round, like I said, it is a music round, but it's a very particular type of music. And yes, it's all about classical music. In this round, I'm going to be looking for the names of 6 very well-known composers. For each question, I will give you examples of 3 of their most famous works. All you have to do is figure out who am I talking about. So here we go, round 2, question number 1. Classical music, I'm looking for the composers of these very famous works. So here's our first one, round 2, question 1. Nice easy one to start you off with. I feel Swan Lake, Sleeping Beauty, The Nutcracker. So who composed the music for those 3 works? Some of them are ballet, some of them are operettas, some of them are just classical music pieces. But round 2, question number 1. Round 2, question number 1. Swan Lake, The Sleeping Beauty, and The Nutcracker, composed by which composer? It's round 2, question number 1. Next up, round 2, question 2. Aida, Nabucco, Rigoletto. Again, 3 operas, composed by which composer? That's your second one there tonight. Round 2, question 2. Aida, Nabucco, Rigoletto. 3 works by which major classical composer? Next up, round 2, question 3. Bene Mora, St. Paul's Suite, The Planets. You'll be very familiar with the Planets as a classical piece of music. It's actually quite based on the Star Wars themes, actually. The Star Wars themes is based on those. So Benny Mora, St. Paul's Suite, The Planets. That's round 2, question 3. Which composer wrote those works? Next up, round 2, question 4. The Enigma Variations, The Pomp and Circumstance Marches, The Dream of the Gerontius. Now, The Pomp and Circumstances, Land of Hope and Glory, familiar for those that performed at the very last night at the proms there, the Royal Albert Hall, but this is round 2, question 4. I'm looking for the composer of those 3 works, The Enigma Variations, Pomp and Circumstance Marches, and The Dream of Gerontius. That's round 2, question 4. Next up, round 2, question 5. Carmina Burana, Catulle Carmina, and Triunto de Aphrodite. So 3 operas, or 3 classical works there. Very, very famous. The Carmina Burana, you might recognize that. I think it was in a milk tray advert. It's a very, very famous piece of classical work. I don't want to sing it just because I don't want to butcher it. We're round to question 5. Carmina Burana, Catulle Carmina, Triunfo de Aphrodite. That's round 2, question 5. I'm flying straight on to the next one. Round 2, question 6. Tristan and Isolde, The Ring Cycle, The Valkyrie. Again, 3 operas. Tristan and Isolde, The Ring Cycle, The Valkyrie. That's round 2, question 6. Round 2, question 6. Tristan and Isolde, the Ring Cycle, the Valkyrie. That's your last one there. And I'll give you a little bit of a rundown of there. So round 2, question 1, Swan Lake, Sleeping Beauty, the Nutcracker. Question 2, Aida, Nabucco, Rigoletto. 3, Benimora, St. Paul's Suite, The Planets. 4, Enigma Variations, The Pomp and Circumstance Marches, The Dream of Geronitus. 5, Carmina Burana, Catuli Carmina, and Triunto de Aphrodite. And finally, Tristan and Isolde, The Ring Cycle, and Valkyrie. Yes, that is your music round. Tough one, I have to say. Very, very tough one. I kind of wanted to, like I said, mix things up for people. Like I said, if you play any of my previous quizzes, I do a lot of questions about pop music and classical music and all sorts of different things. But like I said, there is a pattern to the quizzes. Like I always do intend to do round 1 is always general knowledge. Round 2 is always music. But round 3 is either going to be a television one or a movie one. Now, last week we did do movies, Alfred Hitchcock. This week we're going back to television and we're doing fictional towns and places. I'm going to list 6 fictional towns or places from some very well-known TV shows. All you have to do is match the fictional place to the particular TV show. So here we go. Round 3, question number 1. If you can work this out, start off nice and easy, I think. I don't know. Again, it all depends. It's always easy if you know it. So here's your first one tonight. Round 3, question number 1. Cabot Cove, Maine. So that's your first one tonight. Which famous TV show is set around, or in and around, Cabot Cove, Maine. Or Cabot Cove. Depends how you pronounce it. I'm going to go Cabot. Which famous television show set around Cabot Cove, Maine? Your next question. It's a nice mix of American and British TV, this. Next one is Hawkins, Indiana. That's round 3, question 2. So which television series is focused on the small town of Hawkins, Indiana? It's not going to be the last time we go to Indiana in this round. There's going to be another one. But which TV show is set in Hawkins, Indiana? That's round 3, question 2. Next up, round 3, question 3. Walmington-on-Sea. So Walmington-on-Sea. This is a classic one. Classic British one, as you can tell. Walmington-on-Sea. Now that's one of the locations I believe they used in the TV shows for exterior shots. But like I said, most classic TV shows were just done on a soundstage. Round 3, question 3. Walmington-on-Sea. That's your third one tonight. Next up, round 3, question 4. Sunnydale, California. Sunnydale, California. Enjoy your stay. So, which TV show is centered or set around Sunnydale, California? That's round 3, question 4. And next one up, round 3, question 5. One of my favorites growing up. Royston Vasey. Royston Vasey. That's your 5th one tonight. Exceptionally dark TV show. One of my favorites, I have to say. Royston Vasey, round 3, question 5. Interesting fun fact. Royston Vasey is the real name of a rather controversial comedian called Roy Chubby Brown. If you don't know who that is, I really wouldn't advise you to look him up. He's not great. He's not very, well, put it this way, not very politically correct, put it that way. It may be your thing, that's cool, I'm not judging or anything, but, just not really mine. But round 3, question 5, Royston Vasey, the name of the town in which TV show? It's a British TV show, as you can see. And finally, we're back to Indiana. Round 3, question 6, Pawnee, Indiana. I actually just finished watching this series myself. Absolutely loved it. But Pawnee, Indiana. Which TV series or comedy or drama is set in this town? Pawnee. And there's your roundup there of fictional TV locations. So we have Cabo Cove, Maine, Hawkins, Indiana, Wilmington-on-Sea, Sunnydale, California, Royston-Vasey, and finally Pawnee, Indiana. A couple of seconds with that before we move on to the next round. And I have to say, yeah, we're motoring away here tonight, guys. We're firing through. I was just looking there on my phone to make sure that the big Tesco's in near where I live is going to be open. Because I'm going to be very, very hungry after this. I know it's one of those things I forgot to eat before I was doing this. But like I said, I'm really, really happy to be here tonight. My very first ever Twitch live stream. I have to say, I'm delighted to be on with you guys here if you're watching on Twitch. But also big shout out to my loyal YouTube viewers as well, watching the quiz going out live as well. And on Facebook, spread the love all around 3 different platforms. But I hope you're all enjoying it. Let's move on to the next round tonight. As we always kind of do. Like I said, there is a pattern to these. So the first one's always general knowledge. Second one's always going to be music round. Third one is always going to be TV or music. And the fourth one always is going to be history and politics. And tonight's history round is about the British royal family. Yes, the very, very sad death of Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, kind of inspired me to write a whole litany of questions all about the royal family, the British royal family. So let's see how you do. You can't say I'm being bipartisan given the fact I did the Easter Rising last week. So yes, the British royal family this week. Questions all about them. And I'm sure you'll get this first one here. Round 4, question number 1. It's been round the clock obituaries on the BBC and ITV. But your first question, round 4, question 1. The late Prince Philip was born on which Greek island? It's your first question tonight. Round for history. So round 4, question 1. The late Prince Philip was born on which Greek island? It's round 4, question 1. 99 years old, made it all the way 2 months shy of a 100th birthday. Massive gap in the public scene there in Britain. But there you go, round 4, question 1. The late Prince Philip, born on which Greek island? Next one, round 4, question 2. Who was the second child born to Elizabeth and Philip? So round 4, question 2. Who was the second child born to Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip? They had 5 children altogether. There they are. Who was number 2? Round 4, question 2. No, they've got four kids. What am I talking about? So who was the second one out of the Queen's children? Who's the second oldest? Next up, round 4, question 3. What year did the Queen describe as her annus horribilis in a speech at the Guildhall? Yes, this was a particularly disastrous year for the Queen herself, personally. Fire at Windsor Castle. Massive fire at Windsor Castle. There was also the divorces of 2 of her children, or 3 of their children, all in that one year. And she said that this particular year was not going to be remembered fondly by herself. She described it as her horrible year, annus horribilis. Next up, round 4, question 4. Speaking of Windsor Castle, but in which English county is the royal residence of Windsor Castle? That's round 4, question 4. Round 4, question 4. I actually haven't visited it yet. Windsor Castle, also famous. It's pretty near Legoland, Windsor, which I haven't been to. I'm told it's very good. I should actually. If I go back over, I'm going to go to Legoland. But in which English county is the royal residence of Windsor Castle? Next up, round 4, question 5. On the 6th of February 2022, the Queen will celebrate what significant milestone? So that's round 4, question 5. 6th of February 2022, the Queen will celebrate what significant milestone in her reign as Queen of England? That's round 4, question 5. And finally, round 4, question 6. Who was the last male consort to a reigning British monarch before the passing of the Duke of Edinburgh? So yes, it's a rare thing, but there hasn't been many queens of England. Been very, very notable ones, but given the fact that Queen Elizabeth is Queen Elizabeth II. Round 4, question 6. Who was the last male consort to a reigning British monarch before the passing of the Duke of Edinburgh? Now, in that photograph, you can see the young Queen there. She's the young lady just second from the left beside Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, Queen Elizabeth. And over there is George VI. And beside him, Princess Margaret. But who was the last male consort to a reigning British monarch before the passing of the Duke of Edinburgh? That's round 4, question 6. There's a roundup there of questions about the royal family. So yes, the late Prince Philip was born on which Greek island? 2. Who was the second child born to Elizabeth and Philip? 3. What year did the Queen describe as her annus horribilis in a speech at the Guildhall? 4. In which English county is the royal residence of Windsor Castle? 5. On the 6th of February 2022, the Queen will celebrate what significant milestone? And finally, 6. Who was the last male consort to a reigning British monarch before the passing of the Duke of Edinburgh? There's all your questions there about the British royal family. Give you a couple of seconds to move on. Yes, right up, just coming up to about 8:30 here with me, and that's a really good point in the quiz. And we're halfway through. I hope you're all enjoying it. Don't forget, if you're enjoying the quiz and you really want to see more of the stuff and you want to support me doing it, by all means donate to my PayPal, paypal.me/BigNerdPubQuiz. I'm also on Patreon as well. Massive thank you to all my followers out there. Really, really do appreciate it. Use the hashtag BigNerdPubQuiz on all the different social media channels, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, if you'd like a little shout out at some point in the night. And like I said, I've got this QR code in case you've joined late and you want to take part. I'm not sure how you do it on Twitch. I'm sure there is a way to replay it. But yes, the quizzes will always be up on YouTube. So if you do miss out on the live stream, you can, of course, play them again in the replays. But yes, thank you very much for joining me tonight on Big Nerd Pub Quiz. Moving forward to the next round, and like I said, there is a pattern to these. I always keep by it. Round 5 is always going to be a sports round because I do love my sports. So what sport are we going to be looking at this week? We did have the Grand National, but we also had the US Masters on last night, and some of these questions I was writing as it was happening. So yes, the Masters, one of the premier golf tournaments in the world, and one of the big 4. But here we are, the Masters. Let's talk all about golf, and let's see how you get on with this one. Round 5, question number 1. What color of jacket is worn by the winner of the US Masters? That's round 5, question number 1. Your first sports question tonight. See how you get on. So round 5, question 1. What color of jacket is worn by the winner of the US Masters? It's round 5, question 1. Round 5, question 2. In which US state is the famous Augusta course where the Masters is held every year, or has been held every year since 1934? Very, very famous golf course. Augusta. The Augusta National, as it's known as. But in which US state is the famous course where the Masters is held every year since 1934? Very exclusive membership. You got the likes of Bill Gates, a member there. That's who you'd be rubbing shoulders with if you're playing at Augusta. Round 5, question 3. Who won this year's Masters? Like I said, I was putting this together last night as it was happening. And I was giving an eye on the scores. And when I woke up this morning to see who had actually won it, I was like, right, there we go. Very famous win as well. A first for this particular country. Round 5, question 3. Who won this year's Masters Golf last night or yesterday? Next up, round 5, question 4. With a total of 6, who holds the record for the most wins at the Masters? Which golfer holds the most wins? That's round 5, question 4. Definitely a record-breaking golfer, considered to be one of the greatest of all time. And of course you would be if you're winning the courses like that for fun. Round 5, question 4. Who won? Or who holds, with a total of 6, who holds the record for the most wins at the US Masters? Next up, round 5, question 5. Which golfer was the youngest winner of the Masters at the age of 21? So round 5, question 5. Which golfer was the youngest winner of the Masters at the age of 21? And finally, one for real golf experts out there, round 5, question 6. The 18th hole at Augusta is what par? So yes, what par is the final hole at the Augusta course? You got a 1 in 4 shot there, I think, of getting it. It's definitely not a 1. It couldn't be a par 1. But yes, 18th hole at Augusta is what par? I think if you're a real golf fan, you'll probably know that. But it's one of those things I was putting it together last night. I figured, give it a shot. Anyway, next up, that is your sports round, all about the golf. So what color of jacket is worn by the winner of the US Masters? 2, in which US state is the famous Augusta course where the Masters is held? 3, who won it last night? 4, who holds the record for the most wins? 5, who's the youngest winner? And 6th, what par is the final hole at Augusta? Okay, we're done with round 5. Big sigh of relief if you're not a sports fan, because I know a lot of people out there aren't. But let's see how you get on with this next round. So we're moving on to another specialty round. And this is, all I can say, this is a massively, massively geeky one for me. Because I love trains and things like that, as you can see by my shirt. But anyway, let's see how you get on with this one. Round 6 is all about geography. How is that related to terrain? Yes, it's a picture round, and it's all about underground maps or metro tube maps, etc., etc. I'm going to show you 6 very, very identifiable and recognizable tube maps or underground maps. All you have to do is figure out which city they belong to. Sounds simple enough. Well, let's see how well traveled you are, or let's see if you can recognize them by the shape of the city or the outline of the rivers. Sometimes they put the rivers in, but let's see how you do with this one. Here we go, round 6. Question number 1. It's an easy one, I think, to start you off with. Which city is this map belong to? Yes, these very famous maps were designed originally to look like, well, they reflected more or less what the lines looked like. But in the 1930s, a man called Harry Beck redesigned it to be something more akin to an electrical circuit outlay. So hence you get the famous look there. But I think that's an easy one to start you off with. Round 6, question 1. Name that city based on the subway map. Next up, round 6, question 2. A little bit more tricky, but if you can see the kind of the outline of the place, maybe I'll give you a clue there. I think that's fairly self-evident what that could be. Round 6, question 2. Which city is that? Based on the subway line. I figure you can kind of work it out just by looking at the map of it, if you've been to this city before. Round 6, question 3. A little bit more difficult, this one. There's a big river running through it, but that doesn't certainly narrow it down. It's got a tricky enough tube map to navigate. I've been on it a few times. Round 6, question 3. I was about to be there last year, but then COVID happened. I was going over for a rugby match, but unfortunately everything got cancelled at the last minute, and it was literally the last thing I was going to be doing before the old restrictions were laid down. Round 6, question 3. Which city is that? I'll go through these one more time at the end. Okay, I've left in some of the names here for this one. Figure this one would be quite difficult if you didn't see it at all, but it's basically only got one line, really. And it's that orange one, that orange circular line. You might recognize some of the street names. Might ring out to you there. But which underground or metro does this map belong to? Which city? So round 6, question 4. It's an interesting one. And a lot of people are very surprised when they find out this city and place actually has an underground or a metro system. They're like, what? Really? It does. Next up, round 6, question 5. Getting a little bit more trickier now. Two kind of big circle lines there you can see. I think this is the hardest one. Definitely has to be the hardest one. If you know your tube systems, then probably. But you know what? Have a go. Have a guess. Have a punt. If you don't know it, have a go. Round 6, question 5. Have a shot. See what you think. And next up, round 6, question 6. There's only 2 lines in this one. And it's not an underground as such. It's a rapid transport system. It's a tram rapid transport system. So kind of not underground, but you know, I'm gonna put it in because I think it's quite funny. Round 6, question 6. Have a go and guess. See what you think of that one. All right, there's your round up there again. So there's round 6, question number 1. Question number 2. Question number 3. Question number 4. Question number 5. And finally, question number 6. Yes, I do love a good old rapid transport system in any big cities. I'm a bit of what's known as a new urbanist new urbanist memes for transit-orientated teen. I do love those. It's a great Facebook site if you don't know what it is. Anyway, enough of my rambling. Thank you very much for joining me again tonight. We got 2 more rounds to go. I wonder how you're all doing. We will be showing the scores at the very end of the very top 5 players of the quiz, and hopefully get a few wee shout outs done at the very end after we've taken a break. But firing straight on, we've got another 20 minutes left before we hit 9 o'clock. We've reached our penultimate round, and yes, it's kind of another history round. Let's see how you get on with this. Round 7, and it's a specialty round all about the Titanic. Why the Titanic, Mark? Well, tonight is April the 12th, and in 2 days' time, there'll be the anniversary, the 109th anniversary of the sinking of the famous White Star Line ship that sailed from Europe over to New York, but fatally struck an iceberg and infamously sank around the night of the 14th, 15th of April 1912. But yes, it's interesting. I remember on the actual 100th anniversary in 2012, I actually had tickets to see the movie Titanic in the IMAX, so it was kind of weirdly living vicariously by watching the passengers on this massive screen. But there you go, round 7. All questions about the Titanic. Let's see how you get on with these. Here we go. So round 7, question number 1. What was the name of Titanic's captain on its fateful maiden voyage in 1912? It's round 7, question 1. The Titanic famously built in Belfast at the Harland and Wolff shipyards. You can actually visit the fantastic museum and check out the amazing displays they have there and the actual slipways where the Titanic was actually built and refitted. But round 7, question number 1. What was the name of the Titanic's captain on its fateful maiden voyage in 1912? Next up, round 7, question 2. What was the name of the ship that was the first on the scene to rescue the Titanic's lifeboats? So yes, the ship, of course, the ship was infamously fitted with less lifeboats to accommodate passengers on the ship, therefore resulting in the massive loss of life. The Titanic's lifeboats were considered sufficient enough given the size of the ship, because they didn't think a ship like that could sink. But unfortunately, fate had other plans, and yes, over 1,000. I think it was over 1,500 people died, but 700 people saved. But yes, the Titanic's lifeboats were rescued. By which ship? I want the name of that ship. Round 7, question 3. Isidore and Ida Strauss were two prominent first-class passengers who perished on the sinking. But which famous New York store did they own? Yes, a very, very famous New York department store. That's round 7, question 3. Two of the most famous passengers on the ship at the time, and are portrayed many times in different iterations of the Titanic story, either on film or on stage. But Isidore and Ida Strauss, two prominent first-class passengers who perished on the Titanic. But which famous New York store did they own? That's round 7, question 3. Next up, round 7, question number 4. Queenstown in Ireland was the Titanic's final port of call before departing for New York. What is it known as today? And that's an actual final photograph of the ship right there. The actual last ever photograph of Titanic was taken just off the coast. But that is one of the very last photographs of the ship before it left for the North Atlantic. Round 7, question 4. Queenstown in Ireland was Titanic's final port of call before departing for New York. What is it known as today? That's round 7, question 4. Next up, round 7, question number 5. What was the name of the County Down born designer of the Olympic class ships who also died on the maiden voyage? Yes, he was part of the fitting crew who were inspecting the ship on its maiden voyage just to see what anything was wrong, anything that could be improved. Himself and a bunch of other engineers from Harland and Wolff shipyards in Belfast were on board and actually perished on the ship itself. But round 7, question 5. What was the name of the County Down born designer of the Olympic class ships who also died on the maiden voyage? And finally, round 7, question 6. What was the name of Titanic's sister ship that was sunk by a mine in the Aegean Sea in 1916? Yes, this was one of Titanic's sister ships that was actually repurposed during the First World War as either a troop carrier or a hospital ship. This particular one, as you can see, was a hospital ship. And hit a mine in, like I said, in the Aegean Sea in 1916 and sank in very, very shallow waters. So the wreck itself was discovered by Jacques Cousteau in the 60s. It's actually, like I said, it's relatively shallow. But that's round 7, question 6. I'm looking for the name of Titanic's sister ship that was sunk by a mine in the Aegean Sea in 1916. And there's your roundup of questions all about the Titanic. So yes, round 7, question 1. What was the name of Titanic's captain on its fateful maiden voyage in 1912? 2. What was the name of the ship that was first on the scene to rescue the Titanic's lifeboats? 3. Isidore and Ida Strauss were 2 prominent first-class passengers who perished. But which famous New York store did they own? 4. Queenstown in Ireland was the Titanic's final port of call. But what is it known as today? 5. What was the name of the County Down-born designer of the Olympic-class ships who was also died on the maiden voyage? And 6. What was the name of Titanic's sister ship that was sunk by a mine in the Aegean Sea in 1916? A couple of seconds left on that before I move on to the next round. Right, guys, that is your penultimate round. We've got one more to go tonight before we close out. And like I said, yes, don't forget if you can play in all the different quizzes on my channel, Big Nerd Pub Quiz on YouTube. If there's anything on there that you fancy, like everything from Star Trek, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Back to the Future. Oh, I haven't done a Back to the Future one yet. But I have done ones about horror movies. I've done ones about sport, football, Game of Thrones, TV shows, music. But yes, if you have any ideas, if you want to get in touch with me, by all means, let me know. Get in touch with all the different social media channels: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and of course Twitch. Big shout out to all the guys on Twitch. This is very, very exciting for me. First time on that channel, first time on that platform. And like I said, I had to update all my graphics and everything to reflect that. Final round tonight, guys. Final round tonight is going to be an interesting one. It's a kind of another picture round, but let's see how well you do with this one. I think this is actually, if you're not into this is actually going to be really, really tricky. But here we go. Round 8 is all about zodiac signs. Yes, zodiac signs. I'm going to show you 6 signs of the zodiac. All you have to do is place them in order in which they occur within a calendar year. Now, all you have to do is kind of, everybody knows where their own sign is. Heads up, I'm a Pisces. My birthday was only a couple of weeks ago. But where do the other ones fall, and in which order do they land? So here they are. Here are your 6 signs of the zodiac. Let's see how you get on with this. So Sagittarius, Aries, Gemini, Virgo, Leo, and Libra. Put them in order in which they occur during a calendar year. And I was very, very careful to make sure there was no kind of cause for confusion. I think it's Capricorn that's on the cusp of December and January. Didn't want to mess about with that. Kind of figured like if it was, people would call me out and say, wait a minute, Capricorn technically is in January, but these are clearly within the calendar year. So Sagittarius, Aries, Gemini, Virgo, Leo, and Libra. On your answer sheet on the Google Answers form, you will see options there. If you think Sagittarius is number 1, put it at number 1. If you think Aries is number 2, put it at number 2, and work your way down the list. Very straightforward altogether. See how you do with this one. Like I said, it's quite a tricky round. I will give you up until, like I said, time with me is 49 minutes past 8. I'll give you right up until about 53. So 20:53 by my clock, I'm going to end the round. But yes, Sagittarius, Aries, Gemini, Virgo, Leo, and Libra. And depending on which year you were born, what part of the year you were born, determines your personality and your future, yada, yada, yada. But yes, the star signs are based on actual astrological or astronomical. I'm gonna say astrological means kind of more about astrology, which this is the science of in terms of zodiac signs. Astronomical. There we go. Got the word. But yes, they are based on alignments of certain star constellations. So yes, Sagittarius, Aries, Gemini, Virgo, Leo, or Libra. So just to let you know, just to reiterate again, if you think Sagittarius is number 1, put it at number 1. If you think Aries happens after it, put it at number 2 and work your way down. If you do read these, you probably get them straight away. But yes, I'm giving you right up until another 2 minutes or so, and then we'll move on. I find this is so tricky. It's one, I know the water signs, and I know the animal ones, and the only kind of inanimate object I think is Libra, actually. My mum's a Libra. I always know that one. I always have a good stab at that one. But me and my sister and my dad were all Pisces. So again, it's quite a difficult one. But if you know your star signs, if you're into your astrology, if you dig that sort of thing, then yes, give it a go. Sagittarius, Aries, Gemini, Virgo, Leo, and Libra. Another 2 minutes on that, and then we'll move on. Finish up. And see how we get on with this. But round 8, I've kind of figured, I don't know where this one, I think some friend of mine, we were talking about star signs, and I thought it'd be a really neat idea for a round. But yes, as soon as my watch goes here, and I've got an Amazon Alexa in front of me, as soon as it goes, or we should say that out loud just in case it starts talking to me. I've got an Amazon Echo right in front of me, so when it goes 20:53, I'm going to finish tonight's quiz. There we go. 1 more minute left, guys. Let you work those out. I'm seeing the responses coming in. You're going to get your scores right at the end, guys. You'll get your scores straight up. Team Western Productions, hello to you, sir. How are you? I had to put the emojis on because I'm always kind of conscious about people. If I leave chats on YouTube or Twitch, people be blurting out the answers, and I don't want that. I want everyone to have a bit of fun with it. Okay, so coming up, last couple of seconds, guys, before we finish tonight's quiz. I'm seeing already answer sheets being submitted. 15 seconds, and then we're going to move on. We're going to take some time out. Take about 2 minutes out to finish off. There we go. That's it. 20:53 by my watch. Well, that's it. Thank you very much for joining me, but don't go anywhere. We're going to be revealing the scores, the top 5 players tonight at the very end of the quiz, as well as tell you all the answers, see where you went right, see where you went wrong. And like I said, this might be the very last time I'm doing it here because I've got a new studio and a new office, which I'm going to be setting up this week. So yeah, we've got loads of desks and stuff in. But guys, it's 20:53 by me. I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to kind of wrap up, and then that'll be it for this evening, and we'll show you the scores and the answers. So don't go anywhere. I'll be right back after these messages. Well, not so much messages, but there you go. Okay, guys, welcome back. 5 minutes to 9 there. And got all the scores. I have to say, it was very, very tight at the very top. It's joint first. First time this week, I have to say. So, yes, you obviously be sitting at the edge of your seats waiting to see how you get on with this. But here are tonight's answers for Big Nerd Pub Quiz, 12th of April 2021. Let's see how you get on. Here is the round one roundup. So, Anthony Hopkins won the Best Actor at the BAFTAs last night. The city of Aten was discovered in Egypt there recently. The island of St. Vincent is the island which erupted this month. Or La Soufri, that's where the volcano is. Manila Times was the horse which Rachel Blackmore rode on her famous victory at the Aintree Grand National. DMX's first album is Dark and Hell is Hot. And Yuri Gagarin, first man in space, celebrating 60th anniversary of manned spaceflight. So, your composers: Swan Lake, Sleeping Beauty, The Nutcracker, all by Tchaikovsky. Aida, Nabucco, Rigoletto, Giuseppe Verdi. Benimora, St. Paul's, and The Planets, Holst. Elgar, he composed Enigma, Pomp and Circumstance, and The Dream of Geronidas. Karl Orff, Carmina Burana, Catuti Carmina, and Trifono der Aphrodite. And Tristan und Isolde, The Ring Cycle, and The Valkyrie, all by Richard Wagner. Next up, your fictional towns. So Cabo Cove is the location of Murder, She Wrote. Hawkins, Indiana, Stranger Things. Wilmington-on-Sea is the location of the amazing Dad's Army classic there. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Sunnydale, California. Royston Vasey, The League of Gentlemen, another brilliant classic British comedy. And Pawnee, Indiana, Parks and Rec. Massive fan of that show as well. Next up, questions about the British royal family. Prince Philip, born on Corfu. Princess Anne, the second child to Elizabeth and Philip. Annus Horribilis was 1992. Berkshire is the location of Windsor Castle. The Queen will celebrate her Platinum Jubilee next year on the 9th of February. And Prince Albert, husband of Queen Victoria, was the last male consort to a monarch in the UK. Questions all about the Masters there. The jacket is green when you win. Augusta is in Georgia, famously. Hideki Matsuyama was the first ever Japanese winner of the Masters, and he won it last night. Jack Nicklaus, the most prolific winner of the Masters, with 6. Tiger Woods, the youngest, at the age of 21. And the 18th hole is a par 4 course. So those underground maps, we have London, New York, Paris, Glasgow, Moscow, and Dublin. Just so you know those ones again. Show them up again. So we got London, New York, as you can see there with the Hudson River and the islands of Manhattan. Paris might not have been as obvious, but there's the River Seine running through the city and the small islands in the middle where the Notre Dame Cathedral is. We've got Glasgow, if you know Ibrox, Partick, Kelvin Bridge. That one's Moscow. That's pretty difficult. We'll give you that one. That's Moscow Metro. And Dublin, which basically just has 2 lines. But, that's Dublin for you, isn't it? Round 7, questions all about the Titanic. Captain Edward Smith was the captain of the Titanic. The Carpathia was the lifeboat that rescued the Titanic's, or the ships or lifeboats there. Isidore and Ida Strauss were the owners of Macy's in New York. Queenstown is the former name of Cove in Cork. Thomas Andrews was the man who designed the Titanic. He's from Comer in County Down. The Britannic was the name of the hospital ship that was sank in the Aegean Sea. And there is your zodiac signs. And I put the dates up there so there wouldn't be any cause for error. So Aries is March 21st to April 19th. Then followed by Gemini, May 21st to June 20th. Then Leo, July 21st to August the 22nd. Virgo, August 23rd to September 22nd. Followed by Libra, September 23rd to August 22nd. And then Sagittarius, November 23rd to December 21st. And the final standings there, Quisling and Juno and the Paycock, both on 48, 45 out of 48. Very well played, guys. The Donuts of Wilts, I'm assuming that's Wiltshire, is 44 out of 48. And Team Crawdad 5 and Dwayne Dibley, both on 40 out of 48. Very well played, guys, I have to say. Fair play to you. Thanks very much for joining me tonight on the Big Nerd Pub Quiz, and very massive thanks to you if you've joined me on Twitch as well. Huge thanks to me. I'm really hoping to join and really grow that platform over the next couple of weeks and months. And like I said, Big Nerd Pub Quiz here every Monday night going forward. Used to be on Sundays. Now I'm glad I've got that off. I can do them on Monday nights and just relax. But yes, thank you very much for joining me again on Big Nerd Pub Quiz. Next one is next week. And that is on... No, not the 12th of April. Can't leave you with that one. But thank you very much for joining me. The next quiz is on next week, and that date is the 19th of April. So don't miss it. Put it in your diaries. 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. every week on all the different social media channels, Facebook, YouTube, and of course Twitch. We'll see you again soon. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay safe and have a fantastic night wherever you are. And I'll see you all again soon. Good night.